Two, one. Hello, and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on YouTube. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me, as always, in our co-host seat is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Hello.
And we are excited tonight. Sad it's our last live show of 2021, but man, what a way to say goodbye to a crazy year. We have got an amazingly epic guest. I had to make sure I didn't screw up the words there. This is an actress who I've really become a big fan of her and her work, and we are so excited that she has wanted to come back again. And welcome back, Chrissy Rothrock.
Thank you for having me again, and you're always making me, gassing me up when you introduce me. Oh my goodness. No, I really much appreciate you having me back, and I do. I come back because I always have fun whenever I'm on with you guys. You're fun to talk to, and you don't mind how much I talk.
That's okay. Sometimes, as you know, being someone who has interviewed people, when the person you interview has longer answers, it means that you have to talk less.
Yes. Yes. Oh, don't you worry about me. This is only my second cup of tea. I have another bag sitting over here.
And we thank you so much for joining us. As a reminder, we want to let everybody out there know, if you're new to our channel, if you're finding us for the first time, hit that subscribe button down below. We want to hit 200 subscribers. We're hoping by the end of the year, but that's going to be a bit of a stretch with how close we are to the end of the year. But once we hit that 200 subscriber mark, we're going to be doing a giveaway where one lucky fan gets to sit in the co-host seat, a special guest co-host seat like Kristi was a couple weeks ago, for a future voice actor interview.
By the way, thanks for that. It's a really great, I can vouch for that. It's a really great position to be in, as the co-host, the guests co-host or whatever that they bring you on. I was that whenever they had Kidam Kaz on, and oh my gosh, I had a great time. It was fantastic, and I love getting to talk to Kit. So yeah, can vouch that is a great position. So share this and have your friends subscribe and everything, because yeah, it's good stuff.
Definitely. You made a great replacement when I fall asleep.
Good to know that my college training is kicking in. My radio techniques.
You want to come on as a second co-host full time?
Oh gosh, I can't sleep, man. There's only so many hours in the day.
Oh, I know. And we want to remind everybody, Anime-Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by Home Circle Media. For the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books, be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com today, or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. I can talk. Oh my god. We're also brought to you tonight by Casey Fox. For all of your artwork, cosplay, photography needs, be sure to check out Casey Fox on Facebook and Instagram by searching KAYCIFOXX. We're also brought to you by Darren's Landscaping Company.
If you're in the Raleigh-Durham area, look me up on Facebook, Triple S Lawn Care, or facebook.com/Triple S Lawns. And I'd be happy to give you a quote.
And once again, we are excited to have Kristi Rothrock joining us again. She has done so many amazing roles that we've only scratched the surface a couple of times that she's been on with us. The first time we talked about Ilulu, my opinion, yes, best dragon of Dragon Maid.
Same, but I'm very biased. I love her so much. She's so weird. And we talked about how much I love yucky stuff, and she's just so, odd. I love her.
And Darren and I have talked about this many times. We talked about it earlier this week when we did our 2021 look back. And Dragon Maid Season 2, or Dragon Maid S, came back with a vengeance with that epic fight scene between Ilulu and Toru.
Mm-hmm.
And, we both said that was a statement episode, saying we are back, we're better than ever, we're not going to be knocked down after the tragedy the studio had had. And you did an amazing job as Ilulu on that.
Thank you.
And you know that we talked that up highly when you and okay, what can I know? I'm so sorry, Rachel. Rachel Glass were on the show before for the Dragon Maid special. Other characters that you have done that we really enjoy, of course, the background, even though you can't really see it very well, We have Rose from Combatants Will Be Dispatched, another epic anime. And I know you were in Senran Kagura as Renka, and one of the cutest characters in How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Edelgard, which...
She's such an... I love her. She's something else.
And for our listeners out there who may not have seen these roles because they live under a rock or something, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what got you started in the world of acting and voice acting.
Well, I have actually lived in a town of Durant, Oklahoma my entire life. And it's interesting because Durant, Oklahoma, I don't know what the population was, but for the most part, we had a Walmart, and that was about it. Like, it was one of those towns, and everything closes at 9, very small town. And so growing up, being a little kid in that environment, before the internet even happened, I knew I wanted to be a voice actor because I knew voice acting existed. Like, I knew humans were behind the voices of these cartoons I watched. But I was like, how is little baby Kristi in Durant, Oklahoma, so far removed from LA or any other place that cartoons are made? No internet. The internet's not even like a concept I've heard of yet. There is no way I'll be a voice actor. And so I just tried other things, but I always kept kind of that love of theater, and I don't want to like retread ground over and over again, but I got really excited. I've mentioned this before a couple of times about how I got really excited whenever I was in the 3rd grade, because that's whenever plays started. But also I just took acting all through high school, and then I minored in it in college. And then I took an ADR class with Sunny Straight that was specifically for ADR, which is automated dialogue replacement. And I took the ADR class, and it was specifically like how to act while fitting those mouth flaps. And then like a year and a half later, I got a call from Sunny that I thought was a butt dial. And before I knew it, he asked me in. And after I hung up on the call, I was crying like a child in the middle of Allen Outlet Mall, just tears down my face because it was my lifelong dream come true. And then I just kind of was like, okay, I can't squander this. And I just started taking a bunch of acting lessons. I started taking specialty workshops and networking and just doing everything I possibly can with this incredible opportunity that I've been given. So that's how I got into voice acting. But a little bit about me is I also work at a radio station, and it's B99.7 The Buzz, which is it's kind of a 80s, 90s station. And I'm the morning show host on that, which if I seem sleepy at any time during this call, it's because it's, grandma's bedtime comes early. And so if I come off as being very sleepy or out of it, then that's why. And also, I am an adjunct professor. I teach audio production, and I love to roller skate all the freaking time, as much as I can, as possible. Because it's really fun.
Did you ever contemplate working at some place like Sonic? Because that used to be a thing with them.
There are actually 2 Sonics in my town. And the thing is I started skating after I started my career. And so I didn't have the need to like go to work at Sonic, but I am kicking myself now because I should have learned how to skate earlier and then gone and worked at Sonic, because that you get hella tips when you're on skates at Sonic.
They had competitions specifically for that. I mean, it was amazing, and the prizes
those things are crazy.
pretty good.
Sorry, a clip came loose back here, so we're trying to get that all worked on.
And the closest Sonic to me, I want to say, is like 3.5, almost 4 hours away.
My gosh.
Down
the closest Sonic to me is walking distance. They're populous down here.
It used to be about 2-3 miles from my house when I lived with my parents, but now that I'm on my own, it's about 10 miles, I'd say.
Gosh, yeah. Like, I can't walk many places in my town, but I can walk to Sonic. There's one here and there's one across town. Which, again, small town, so I only have, if I were to try to walk across town, it might take me an hour.
Yeah, the closest Sonic to me is 135 miles away.
My God. You're not missing a ton. There's better places to get hot dogs.
And that's in Latham, New York. But they're all in southern New York or in Canada.
I like that we're just Googling Sonic locations.
I know. Oh, they're around the Albany area, so 2.5 hours away. I'm sorry. The one that I was stopping at to meet up with my family when we were dropping our daughter off so we could go to Connecticut without a kid was in Binghamton, New York, which is not far from the Pennsylvania border, for those of you who are wondering where that is. But I live up like 40 minutes from the Canadian border. I'm way up north.
You are.
And we're dealing with snow. I think they said 3 to 6 inches of snow tonight.
Yeah, I think it got to up to about 70 today.
Same here, and it's like 60-something right now.
Mm-hmm. I have a love-hate relationship with it.
And it's supposed to be 29 degrees tomorrow.
Gosh, I don't even know what it's supposed to be here tomorrow.
Right now in the city of Plattsburgh, New York, it's 25 degrees and snowing. Would you like to come up and visit?
I mean, as long as I can stay inside and not be freezing, then yes. That's one problem I had whenever I went to go visit my boyfriend's family in New Jersey, was like the rooms were heated, but the hallways were cold. So you were like zipping from room to room trying to stay warm. But the bathroom was like downstairs. And so you'd like get out of bed and like zip down the stairs, but they were carpeted stairs and you had socks on and you had to make sure you didn't accidentally kill yourself on the way down. So like, because they're narrow stairs. My God, I'm glad those stairs have rails, because you would have heard just thump, thump, thump in the middle of the night of me just tumbling down the freaking stairs.
Oh, I'll say this. It gets kind of cold in this house, especially since I got hardwood floors, and that's all I have throughout the whole house. So walking around bare feet when it's cold, or even in socks, is still not the most comfortable thing in the world.
Yeah, I have house slippers that I like wear all the time in the house. Just because I hate the feeling of like the bare floor under my feet. I don't know why, it bugs me. But also, I hate wearing shoes, like shoes inside the house. I always take my shoes off at the door and make my friends do the same. Because like you step in some nasty stuff out there. And I don't want that on my carpet.
Oh yeah.
I don't have a breezeway. I'm poor, so I have a rule of no shoes in the house.
Yeah, we take ours off outside before coming in. They're on the landing.
I try to, but I generally take mine off at the door, and then I do have a pair of house slippers. But it really all depends, because I'll admit I will walk through the house. Because 9 times out of 10, I got to go to my room for something if I come home, or I got to come in the house for X, Y, Z because I'm changing on equipment.
And getting back on track of the anime world and the roles that you've done, that's the fun of Anime-Zing Radio. You never know where we're going to go. We're more random than Trash Taste Podcast. So, but I was looking back through your career, a lot of the work that you had done, and some of the roles I think we had touched on before, and some of them we didn't have a chance to get into too much depth. But I wanted to bring you back to Chiho School Road, which is an anime I recently went back and watched again.
Love that show.
And I'm like, this show is so entertainingly stupid.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. And like there was a part that made me laugh so hard. And it was whenever I was like, it was whenever my character Momo watched Chio and her friend like ripping each other to shreds, pretty much, just like picking on each other. And my character, who has no friends, just tries to like, real friendship is where you love each other and understand each other and support each other unconditionally. And then the Shio says something along the lines of like, "Oh, I get it. You don't have any friends." And Emily, her delivery of the line of "Whoop, there it is!" Like, it just, I died whenever I heard that. Her saying, like, nailed it. Like, "Whoop, there it is!" And like, she's true. Facts though, Momo didn't have any friends. Just a big old fat crush on a teacher, which is creepy. But she loves sugar, which is funny because I'm actually not a big fan of sugar.
And I remembered, Momo, I know exactly the part you're talking about, because it was when they were in that store sitting down at the table and just kind of talking and everything. And your character had like followed them for like a day or two trying
to figure out what friendship is.
And what is up with these two complete and total whack jobs that...
Yeah.
We'll be honest that, Chiho is shameless when it comes to a lot of stuff.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Come on, she can't be more shameless than what's her face?
And shameless is a word that has gotten stuck in my head because I've watched way too much To Love Ru recently.
Speaking of which, that was part of the haul, all 4 seasons.
I don't like how they finished off To Love Ru Darkness 2. They need more. Please tell me that they're going to continue that because they left it on such a cliffhanger.
What? Like I said, watch the OVAs because there's a bunch of them.
I need to find the OVAs.
I will link them to you, but you're going to have to put up with sub.
I'll watch sub and dub.
I know. I'm just saying though. There's like 20 of them at least.
Oh my God.
I told you, there's a lot of OVAs for To Love Ru. It's about, well, hell, Kiss X Sis had what, 8?
I think they were double digits for Kiss X Sis.
And then Setokai Yakuendamo, which I got you to watch, that had like 20-something OVAs as well. And that was only 2 seasons.
Yeah. And looking back through some of the other work that you've done, Kristi, you've been in After School Dice Club, which was a show that I really, really loved.
Yeah, I really liked that too, and I liked that all the games like were real ones that you could play. And also, I was really happy that I got to be in that for a couple of reasons. One is playing alongside Rico is so much fun. Because his delivery, his line reads are just so genuine and like wholesome, and like his line reads in that were really fun to play off of. And also that I didn't get to use my high range just a ton. And so she was one of the characters that I actually like got to, because I think the first time I really ever got to like go full into a character using my high range was Matsuri from Citrus. And then it's just like any art. You go back and you see a million things that you could do better. And I always want to keep doing better. And so I listen to myself as Matsuri, and I don't think I sound bad or anything like that. I just think, okay, like now that I'm more comfortable in my higher range, I would like to see how that would sound now. And Ren came around whenever I was starting to get even more comfortable in my higher range. And so I got to add a lot more character into Ren, which was really fun. And then, what really, really cemented my higher range was a Lulu. That really got me comfy in my higher range, and it made me excited to use it even more, which I love.
And Mario in the chat room says, Citrus, an amazing show.
Yes, Citrus is wonderful. I really loved that. I'm gonna look at comments. There we go. Oh, I was looking at private chat. I was like, I didn't see that comment. No, yeah, Citrus is such a good show, and there are some really hard hitting moments in it that I feel like people brush it off as a Yuri anime, but it's genuinely it's got a really good story to it.
And you're talking about getting into your higher register for characters. Was that a struggle for you to get into a higher register at first? Is that something you really had to work hard on, or?
Believe it or not, no. I just kind of found out I could do it one day. And I did it even before I had voice acting on my radar as a possible job, you know? I just had this like falsetto voice that I would use. And the thing with this falsetto voice, though, is that, again, I never had any anime character in mind whenever I was doing it. And so what happened was I had this friend in high school, and buckle in again. I talk a lot, and this is quite a long story, but I promise it's going somewhere. It's not just a meandering one. It only meanders slightly. But anyway, so I had this friend named Katie in high school, and Katie had a naturally very cute voice. She just had a really high pitched, adorable voice. And it wasn't one of those, because I'm sure everybody knows a person who, you know, they might put on a voice that's not their own sometimes, and it's just a little like, feels a little icky or weird, or like, that's kind of awkward. And like, and so, yeah, stuff like that. But hers was just naturally this very high pitched, very cute, like voice, and her demeanor was adorable too. And she has this little chihuahua, and she would like walk by and talk to this chihuahua in like a baby voice. So she'd be pitching her voice up even more, and she would just. Her dog was like a little old dog, but it was a little dog, so she'd still call it like a puppy and stuff. And so she would walk by the dog and just be like, "Oh, puppy," and I just thought that was the cutest thing on the planet, because this dog was like getting so excited over this girl who already has a cute voice, who's like talking to him in this cute voice. And so what I started doing was just like, I wanted more of that cuteness in my life. And so I just kind of like taught myself how to go into a falsetto like that, so I can just like talk to myself and goof off with a voice like that. And then I got a cat. And then every time I'd come home, I'd be like, "Little daddy princess, you're my sweet little baby." And then like after I started doing that, like years later, I got called into Funimation, and Sunny was like, "Oh, by the way, can you do a little kid voice?" And I was like, maybe. I can do a high voice. Is that a kid voice? I don't know. And so I'll never forget what Sonny said, because I did my high range voice for a little kid, and he goes, "Damn, I should have called you in earlier." And I was like, "Oh, okay, so this voice actually has a place. This rules." Like, and so it was like sort of accidental that I like stumbled into this like high range of mine. In the meantime, like, I was just using it on my cat, and it ended up being Ilulu's voice. Ilulu is my cat voice. Ilulu is my "I'm talking to my little dotty" voice.
I think as pet owners, we all get into that, mindset of you need to talk higher pitch, cute, and try to make it cute to be like, "Oh, it's a little cutie."
Oh yeah, I don't know what it is about us too. Like, as humans, we just naturally do that. It's so weird. We're just drawn to these furry animals because they're just so dang cute. Did you know cute aggression is a thing? Have you heard of it?
I think I have heard of that. Have you heard of it, Darren?
I believe so.
Yeah, cute aggression is wild to me. It's cool, because like we as humans have managed to like deal with it. But cute aggression is the same reason that you hear people being like, "Oh, you're so cute. I just want to pinch your cheeks," or "I want to eat you up." Or like whenever you see moms go like, "I'm on their baby's cheeks" and stuff, like it's cute aggression. It's whenever something is so cute, our brains like short circuit and we don't know what to do with it. And so our bodies are like aggressive, like go opposite of that, counteract this cuteness. But of course, as higher thinking beings, we're not thinking, "Oh, I want to actually eat this child." I just want to like playfully nibble their cheeks or something like that, and same with like cats, like I know that like if your cat has like a fluffy belly and they'll let you sweet little baby kitty belly, just like scratch on it and stuff. And like, I don't know. I just think that sort of like, given the good belly rubbins, like that all's cute aggression, and it's just our brains are like trying to figure out how to handle this adorable freaking animal.
And it's like, you're just so cute, I can't stand it. Ugh.
Yeah, it's like, and my boyfriend and I actually have a joke with each other where it's like, he's like, Kristi, I'm about to show you something. I'm like, okay. And he goes, you're going to be pissed. And I'm like, no, it's going to be something so cute. And so we joke that I have like severe cute aggression. And I'm like, we jokingly do it where I like playfully get mad. I'm just like, God, you ruined my day with that, Ethan. Jeez. Like, I'm so mad at you now. That's just going to wreck my day that you showed me a goose.
And, I just, I think my wife heard me talking about that, I've been watching too much To Love Ru, because I think she's getting ready to start watching it now.
I have not seen it. I realize how strange this may seem, but I'm actually not very plugged into the anime world. That's an interesting comment. It's like tickling, a playful and non-threatening way to inform underdeveloped minds like toddlers of their vulnerable spots and instill defensive instinct. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. Because, yeah, I don't know, I didn't even thought about that. But yeah, like, because animals do it too. Because, like, to us, tickling looks like tickling, but to, like, another species, it might look like an attack. Same with, like, play fighting with animals and stuff like that. That would make sense. Interesting. Humans are weird, but I like it. Anyway, what were we talking about before that?
Talking about Ren in...
Oh, yeah. What's really sad is before COVID, we were all going to get together and actually play games. And true to Rico fashion, because, like, I live in Oklahoma, and so I don't, like, personally know just a ton of the voice actors in Dallas, even though I've, like, been in shows with them and stuff. I don't get a chance to go to, like, functions and stuff like that, and because I'm, like, a little bit far removed. So, like, I don't get just a huge opportunity to hang out in person with them a lot. But it was really sweet because, again, typical to Rico fashion, he was like, yeah, we're going to get a board game night together. And he's like, you've got to come. And I was like, oh, really? Y'all are inviting me? Thank you. And he was like, yeah, you're the vice president of the after school club. Like, come on, you've got to be there. And I'm just like, that's so Rico. He's just being so unbelievably nice. Like, the Rico that you see on Twitter and at conventions and, like, stuff like that, that's the Rico that just exists. He's just a genuinely sweet dude. Like, that's just the Rico that exists all the time. He's not putting on a face.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I love Rico.
We'd love to get him on the show at some point. Of course, we always have that long, ever-growing list of voice actors we would love to meet, love to have on the show. And
yeah,
I especially have loved to find, up-and-coming talent, the new fresh faces of the anime world, and being able to have you on the show. You were on my list of people I've wanted on the show for a while.
I really appreciate you saying that. It always goes back to what I say of, like, the fact, like, holy crap, if I've got, like, one fan, that, like, blows my mind. And the fact that I was, like, on your list, and I was like, I'm like, but I'm just me. It's that good old imposter syndrome,
Yeah,
I swear a friend of mine knows him personally, and I've heard so many good stories about him. He's so chill on Twitter, too. Yep, that's Rico. 100%.
That's our good friend Mario. He knows a lot of people in the industry. We've had Mario on the show in the past as well.
Oh, cool.
Mario is from, I want to say, UK area.
Oh, dang.
He's not even from the US, and I love the fact that he,
does he live in the US now, or is he still in the UK?
He's still outside of the US.
Oh, dang! So he's like 6 hours ahead of us.
And big heart to Mario for all of the fact he comes in every week, and he's joined us on the air multiple times. In fact, the most recent Smash, Trash, or Cuddle show that we did, he was a part of.
Oh, fun.
And we got him. Wait, we got him, right? Or Leanne?
Yeah, Leanne got Mario with a trap.
Smash, trash, or cuddle. See, that would always be so awkward for me because, like, I know the people who voice certain characters, and I'm like, I don't know though. Like, I can't, like, I can separate the artist from the character itself, but I'm still always, I'm just like, someone's like, yeah, how do you feel about this character? And I'm like, it feels like they're voiced by so and so. That's what it feels like to me. that's all I feel towards this character.
And
I don't remember exactly which character it was that he fell for.
I don't remember either.
But I know that we didn't fall for any. Although we've done 2 different episodes of the Smash Trash or Cut. We call it Smash or Trash, but
I threw the cuddle option in there because it wasn't fair for a couple of them.
Ranga from Dungeon of Black Company is who he fell for.
Okay.
Dottie has decided to make her visit. Get her little back scratches. Hi. She woke me up this morning, but for good reason. I forgot to feed her before I went to bed, and so she woke me up hungry. Poor baby. She's so mistreated. She's starving to death, aren't we, baby?
And
now she's interested in. I know, right? Now she's interested in my cream that I was putting in my tea. No, ma'am.
And touching on some of the other shows, knowing that How Not to Summon a Demon Lord recently came back with a season 2, which I laughed at because when I first started watching season 2, the first 5 minutes, I'm like, am I watching the right show?
Actually, I haven't seen any of season 2.
And then Diablo comes falling out of the sky. I'm like, oh, okay, yep, it's the right show.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was put on a hentai or something.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because it's just pure whiplash. Because I was recording with Jeremy. He was like, okay, so here's what your character looks like. They changed studios, so that's her now. And I was like, okay, outfit aside, was she just fighting without glasses beforehand?
Because
we're talking about the season 2 of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, right?
Yeah.
Because she had no glasses in the first one, and in the second one she wears glasses, and I was like, maybe that's why she got her ass kicked, was because she didn't have her glasses on. Girl didn't have her specs.
She didn't have glasses during the first season.
Yeah, I don't think she had glasses the first season. I think they came in.
No, she doesn't.
I think they came.
That's what
in
I'm saying. Was Homegirl just fighting blind on the first season? Poor girl.
I think it was. I might have also been the appeal to where she was working. I don't remember.
Maybe it was to add to her cuteness.
And kind of jumping the train here, but going in a totally different direction. I see you also played a very stoic and emotionless character in Sanae from Teasing Master Takagi.
Love it. I love Sanae. That was actually really hard to play too, because I'm a very animated person, and so going big and over the top is really easy for me. And for some people it's the opposite. Going big and over the top is not their forte, but keeping it really close to the chest is. But for me, the times that I've had to been told while I was recording for her, hey, flatten that readout just a little bit. And I actually kind of struggled with it a little bit. I loved Sanae so much, but because I love characters with sleepy, half-lidded eyes, and I'm glad that I finally got to play one. And then, yeah, I don't know. I felt like I struggled a little with that. And that's one of those characters that I always wish I could revisit, and come in with fresh knowledge and everything, and see where I could take it then. But even though I haven't watched the second season or anything like that, the person that they cast as Sanae after me is a phenomenal actress, and so I couldn't, that's a really great compliment to me.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but Takagi is, I can't remember if it's a third season or some kind of continuation, so it's getting more.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think I voice Sanae anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure as soon as Funimation let go of it, then that's whenever the new voice cast came on. And I mean, they ain't told me that I'm voicing anybody, so.
Oh, you never know. You may get that call being like, hey, we need you to come in, which I'm sure is always a welcomed phone call to get.
Oh, of course it is, man. Call me in for 15 minutes so I can voice this weird little, like, screechy monster, please. Yes, sign me up. Which is actually really cool. I got to use a screechy monster voice recently. The director was just like, hey, can you do like a monster screech? And I'm like, think about who you're talking to here. You know, and so I decided, she was like, I was like, yeah, for sure. And she's like, okay, cool. Well, this is what it sounds like. And so it's like this gigantic beast, but Dottie, okay, you're being extra. This is too much. This is too much, sweetheart. You've got to get, thank you.
That's what cats do.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, so they asked if I could do this monster screech, and I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And so I think I've had enough tea so that I can actually do it. But it's basically just this really shrill inhale. So it's like that, and it hurts a little bit if you do it wrong, like I just did. But it's that noise, and it's really fun to do. And so I don't get to do it very often. And the things you learn your voice can do.
Use that the next time you go through a drive-through.
Yeah, it's like, hi, welcome to McDonald's. What can I have? What can I get for you today?
Do we need to call 911? Are you okay, ma'am?
Just trying out new material. Don't worry.
Hey, perfect place to practice. You know.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for that to be so loud.
Not to say, come through a Bojangles. We had basically our store. Well, the whole setup for that is based off of listening. So whatever they're ordering in the drive-through, basically, if you're loud enough, the whole store can hear it.
Oh gosh.
By
the way, I am really sorry to anybody listening with headphones. I didn't realize I was going to be so loud. I apologize. I hate the sudden loud noises, and so okay, good. I'm glad it was a funny thing. Like, I feel really bad about that because I super hate loud, like, sudden noises in my ear, and so yeah, I apologize for that. So thank you for being understanding with me.
Plus, it's, that's some of the fun stuff with a live show. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I might just blast out your eardrums with a monster screech.
And we've talked with you multiple times that you like the dark and creepy stuff. You like the ghosts and Halloween time and stuff.
I mean, look at my little backdrop here. Whenever I do adjunct teaching and I do remote teaching, I always have just like this haunted house. Like, I have my monitor shifted a little bit, but I always have this like haunted house with like lightning behind me and stuff like that. This is what I teach in front of, so my students know who they're dealing with.
And you were intrigued when I had told you that I had done paranormal investigations and stuff in the past.
Yeah.
Did you have any questions that you wanted to ask? We'll turn you into the host for a little bit if you'd like.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I know you told me you've seen like apparitions and stuff like that. Was there ever a time that you felt like you were in danger?
A couple of times that I felt like I was in danger. One was a private residence investigation with a small group in Massachusetts, and the home was on Native American soil, and it was surrounded by power lines and running water, which anybody in the paranormal knows, and that's a good mixture for a lot of activity. And being an energy sensitive that I am, I could sense that, there was a big group of energies that were starting to gather around us, feeling like we weren't wanted. In fact, the founder of that group's girlfriend and some of her friends ended up having to leave the area because they were feeling sick. And they were perfectly fine beforehand. So I did get to see that. I think we investigated that property 2 or 3 times. And the first time they felt like we were threatening and trespassing on their land. After we made a peace offering, they loved us. And we caught some of the weirdest evidence, if you want to call it evidence, I've ever been a part of in an investigation, including we had a camera set up in their garage area. And you can see a shadow come down the stairs and cross in front of the camera. Now, there were 6 of us in there in the garage, on the other side of the garage. And they had 4-wheelers and quads and all sorts of stuff in this garage. But you can see, like, I thought I heard something, and you can see in the video that I turned my head, so you can see the light on my hat turn towards the camera. And as my hat turns, you can clearly see, like, the profile, the indent of the eyes, the nose, the full face walk by the camera. But as I turn back, you don't see it reverse direction. So I don't believe that it was shadow play of somebody walking or anybody near me, because when I turn one way, it crosses. When I turn back, it doesn't go back the other way, which logically that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was one case of catching an apparition on film.
I see. Interesting. My parents, whenever I was growing up, my parents had a really, they had a really creepy house. And there was a lot of stuff that was unexplainable that happened there. And I'm a major skeptic. And so I'm not, I'm still trying to really hash out how I feel about like ghosts and stuff like that. But I knew for a fact that there is something that caused all of that, because there's no way all of that could be chalked up to just coincidence. There was some stuff that was so weird that I'm like, no, that wasn't a coincidence. That was something. And I have not been able to personally explain it to myself.
One way that I like to try to describe it is energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just changes form.
And see, that's kind of how I look at it too. And that's why, like, I feel like as far as like paranormal stuff goes, especially whenever you hear of people like dying, like violent deaths and stuff like that, that's why, I feel like those stick around more, is because there was far more energy whenever that person died than on me just sitting here at my computer if I just like croaked and fell over sideways.
Yeah.
That would actually be kind of funny if I just like slumped over and died.
No,
you'd get views through the roof, buddy.
I would, but man, that would bring back some horrible memories for me, because that's how my father passed away.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I'm digging up real
old. You had no
old.
idea. He passed away 11 years ago, December 14th.
Oh man!
While
that
sitting
was my
down
grandma's birthday.
He was sitting down to set his fantasy football team. He was playing me in the playoffs that week, and he used to work overnights as a security guard, and when my mother got home that night, like 7:00, she found him.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
So, like I said, you had no idea, and it's like. I understand what you were trying to say, and there was no offense taken, so you don't have to worry about apologizing or anything like that.
I just hate digging up old bad memories. That sucks. I'm so sorry, dude.
Oh, it's all good. And, and ironically, that is the same day, and we talk about anime, and I dropped an anime like that back when I started watching it, and that was Black Butler, because when they announced when CL lost his family, it was December 14th. So, and ironically, one show on December 14th, I had Brina Palencia as a guest.
Yeah.
The voice of CL.
Yeah.
So it was like, when all of that came into fruition, I'm like, maybe I should pick up Black Butler again, but I still haven't, because too many other shows.
Yeah. It's interesting. My grandmother, who was basically my mother figure, her birthday was actually December 14th. And she passed away on February 12th. And no, it's just interesting that you mentioned the 14th for that reason, because she was also really special to me. Yeah, I just thought about her a couple of days ago for that reason.
It's crazy how the mind works. And how everything coincides together in one way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
But
also, I just read the chat from Timothy. We get the existing level of energy by, well, our parents, our mom eating, and then transferring that energy to us also, and then making sure we stayed alive through toddlerhood. And that's us growing, you know? That's how I explain it. And then, you know, all of that came from dinosaurs and shit like that. So, yeah, Big Bang.
Like we said, you know, the energy isn't created nor destroyed. It just changes form.
Mm-hmm. That's
Whether
what
it's
I believe, anywho.
Plants, animals, you know, life forms in some way, shape, or form. You know, everything is energy based.
As far as like the existing level of energy in the universe, no freaking clue. And I'm all right with never finding out. It's fine by me. All I know is that I'm here right now. I'm digging my life, living my best life, or at least trying to, and doing what I love doing. And so is Dottie, apparently, who found a box to sit in. So if you hear scruffling or scraping, that's her.
And going back to the anime side of things, we were talking before we got sidetracked. We were talking about Edelgard and the difference between, you know, when I know she does wear the glasses in season 2, and like they make her look even cuter. Like
they
you have gotten some cute characters that you have voiced.
Yes, I do have some very, very adorable characters that I've just like fallen in love with, and they're all just so like visually appealing. I'm so fortunate that I have the voice that I do, whatever voice that may be, that suits these characters, because I get to voice such like fun, unique looking characters. Trying to think of, I don't know, it's so hard because like I can't pick one that I've like voiced that is like my favorite design, but I think, I don't know, design wise, probably my favorite is Rose, just because she's just got everything happening all at once all the time. And she's just a little critter. And I just love the fact that I got to voice this adorable, wonderful little critter. But yeah, I loved getting to voice Rose so much.
And that's who I was going to touch base on with next. And for the listeners out there, the viewers out there, I'm so used to being on radio and not video, so I say listeners all the time still.
Good.
But, you know, the reason that we have Megamine out here is I don't have a figure of Rose. I don't know if one exists yet. When it comes out,
there is one.
I am going to get it because
one.
she's high on my list of characters that I want. But Combatants Will Be Dispatched was created by the same author as Konosuba, and there's a lot of similarities between the two shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Rose very closely resembles Megamine, which is why A, this is the newest figure that I bought, and B, this is the closest thing to Rose that I have.
That's really awesome. Watching Combatants Will Be Dispatched made me want to watch Konosuba. Because I was told that it was like the same company and like, you know, they did both. And I'm just like, well, if Combatants Will Be Dispatched like brings me this much joy, I can only imagine what Konosuba would do.
and I kind of laugh because, in all honesty, Combatants Will Be Dispatched was an anime I overlooked until we had a certain somebody on the show who was like, no, I know the anime you like. You need to check this out. And you can blame Anthony Bowling for that.
Oh, yeah. It's so... Oh, my God. Like... Okay, so the whole meme of something living rent-free in your brain. Brendan saying just a bit of the old slap and tickle is, like, forever branded in my mind like a cattle brand. Just like I will never forget that. I will be laying on my deathbed and I will remember just a bit of the old slap and tickle.
Mario saying
I will have to get on Konosuba. No, I still just think of that in my head like anytime, and I hear it in his voice and I'm like, Brendan, you have ruined me. But that like it was so freaking good. There are a lot of a folder of just clips of Agent 6 lines. God, he delivers them so good. He plays such a good Agent 6. Like, Because, like, the thing is Agent 6, all of his lines are just, like, the scummiest scumbag lines ever. Like, he's just so gross. Like, but Brendan plays him in such a way where you're like, I like this guy, though. Like, you're rooting for him, even though he's nasty. Like, you're just like, but you love him. And I don't know. He just, like, I don't know. He delivers the lines so well in a way that makes you just like genuinely love Agent 6. I don't know. It's something else. It's something else for sure.
And you get to do a lot of bit parts in anime as well. Mm-hmm. How does that differ when you're asked to come in and do a quick, 30-second read or just make some random noises for a Walla session, as opposed to, going in for Ilulu or Rose or something like that?
Oh, it's a blast. It's an absolute blast. I love it. Any voice actor will tell you that, while voicing characters is a wonderful experience, and it's so fun in its own way, doing Walla and bit parts is fun in a completely different way. So, the cool part about Walla is you get to just... Okay, so... Story time. Anyone who's ever done Walla and bits for Aaron Dismuke will know what I'm talking about whenever I say Walla and bits for Aaron Dismuke, because he is so funny to work with whenever he's directing Walla. Because I even tagged him in a post about it like several years later, and he was like, that face when your actors still remember the hell you put them through in Walla sessions, and a little gif of a guy just like shrinking down in his car and like rolling up the window because he like produces such amazing situations in these. So like in one of his shows, in the background, they were just like, okay, your two students talk about how you just think she has the sexiest elbows ever. And in the background of this show, you just in the background of the show, if you're listening to one of the episodes, you hear this guy just going wild about my character's elbows. And then there was another one of his shows where you can hear me fawning over the fact that this guy lives in a broken down house with holes in the floor. And I'm just like, how many holes do you have in the floor? And he's like, oh my God, you have so many, you'll fall right through. And I'm like, yeah, baby. So like living in this broken down house was like this like thing, and it wasn't lines written for the show. It was not. These were just all ad-lib things that we did while we were in the booth. And so Walla, when you're ad-libbing stuff, you can just ad-lib the funniest, goofiest, weirdest stuff, which is really fun, because that's where you get to be really creative. Not necessarily that acting in anime doesn't allow you to be creative on its own. It's just a different level of creative. It's a level of creativity that you get to bring out that's just like the weirdest characters, or a voice you always wanted to use, or something. And so like I got to voice like this alien that looked like a hammerhead shark one time for Sunny, and he was like, all right, so whatever you think that guy should sound like, voice him. And he was just like tumbling through a ship or something. And so I just had to on the fly make up what this alien sounded like. And stuff like that is so much fun because it requires you to be like, bam, bam, bam. And you have to carry on a conversation about whatever situation is happening. Let's say a big fight just happened in a wild universe or something, and you have to just sound like a person that lives in that universe. And it's just like, oh my gosh, is he okay? Did you see that fight that just happened? Oh, I know, right? He got his butt kicked. Like, and so you get to like have these conversations with these actors. But if you're bit parts, those are especially fun because especially if it's not in Japanese, then you get to come up with any voice you want. Because sometimes they'll dub it in English, but there won't be a Japanese line for it. But anyway, so whenever, sorry, what you just... Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I very much appreciate that. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's a lot more creative fun as far as like you just get to be doofy. Like sometimes, like you get to talk to yourself sometimes, and so like stuff like no, honey, we can't have candy today. But Mom, why? Well, because you're about to have dinner, and so you get to like talk to yourself, even if you're just like trying to, like fill out like a city street or something like that. So you just get to have a lot of like off the rails fun with it. Especially if you're acting for Aaron Dismuke. I'll never forget that.
And one of the shows you had a small part in, and ironically, it was a show that I was talking to my wife about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. A Sister's All You Need.
Yes.
Where you voiced Yamagata.
Yes. That was the show where I was the coworker, right?
I believe so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. See, and that's the weirdness about it, is like a lot of the time I've been in shows like in smaller parts like that, or like less, frequent parts like that, by getting put into just like a bit part role where I'm just like sitting in the Funimation lobby, and then like someone will come in and be like, hey, I need a little girl voice, come in here and do this. And then they end up like eventually having a name. And so, for instance, Restaurant to Another World, I think it was like episode 12 of the first season. I voiced these two twins, these twin boys, or twin boy and girl. And they had that girl actually came back with a name in the second series, like 7 episodes in. And I was like, wait, they're back? And so luckily they got Karen Strange on the other one, which, oh my gosh, he did such a fantastic job on the little boy. So I didn't have to voice 2 of them, but I voiced her, and I loved getting to like voice the sibling of them. And so that was really fun. And it was cool because now she has a name and she's like a character in the show. But some parts just start out that way, as like, oh, I was just like, hey, like the first season, it was just girl A. Hey, do you want the rest of my cake? And then like 2 years later, they're like, yeah, you came back as Marguerite, and you have this name, or Margaret, and you have this like whole like little episode, side part of your episode dedicated to you. And I'm like, that was one line from 4 years ago. I'm so stoked that they're back.
And that was the kids with the that was the brother sister who snuck into the witch's room, turns out to be the elf, and they eat her pudding.
Yes, that was it. Us being little mischief makers.
I have fallen in love with Restaurant to Another World again, and like the most recent episode. And I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but the most recent episode of it that I watched, because I've been watching it both in sub and dub, but the most recent episode kind of floored me, because you could kind of see something happen, but I didn't know that they actually had a storyline that was that in depth to catch you off guard when it actually did happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me fall in love with the show again so much that at work, and I work for a Ford dealership in upstate New York, mm-hmm. they had a random door just leaning against one of the oil tanks that mm-hmm. said parts room on there, and I looked at that and immediately was like, I should cosplay from Restaurant to Another World, because that looks like the hidden door to Nicoya.
Oh, that's cool. You totally should. You would like
make a big cardboard cutout of, and try to draw the cat on there, and
yes,
I could just keep this stuff and wear a chef's outfit, and I could be the cook. Not that I can cook for real, but
fund it, make it happen. Someone make it happen. I don't have the money, Dad, burn it, but I want this. I want to see this.
And we'll have Kristi come up and dress up as the little girl in the green dress. Marguerite.
I mean, yeah, if somebody wants to buy me fancy clothes, then more power to them. Although I'm not funding the green dress.
Does it surprise you that I knew exactly what characters you were talking about?
Yeah, actually it did. It really did. Because I did not realize that show had as much of a following as it did. And then I saw Caitlin announce me for it, and people were like following me and stuff, and I was like, oh my goodness, like this is awesome. That was so nice of them to follow me. And I was really genuinely shocked whenever like I found out that those two characters, like they really did have like, you know, people behind them that really fell in love with them. And that was really special because again, you know, sometimes you just get really lucky that a character you voice like a one-off line will come back eventually, and you know they end up having the fans like really fall in love with them and stuff. That's really special.
And you've had that happen where you've been a part of a lot of series, and I know we've talked before about some of the shows you've been a part of that you were surprised that I knew, and it shows that I absolutely love things like New Game, which you had some bit roles in, Smile Down the Runway, Sisters All You Need, Kuma 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 Bear.
Lorena, she's on my demo reel. I loved that. Getting to scream in my upper register like that was so much fun.
And I don't know if you can. That Megamine just exploded, folks. Those who know Konosuba know that joke. But up on the shelf up there, I don't know if we can get a good shot of it. But there is. I think
he showed me there's a Kuma.
Yeah, there's a Yuna right there.
Yeah.
And you can't see it because of the tree, but I have the Nendroid of Yuna as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, Kuma Bear. Oh my gosh, that show is so freaking cute. And Marissa knocked it out of the park as Yuna. Like, seriously killed it as Yuna because she just has such a like natural, relaxed vibe. And that also, speaking of which, people being in real life, Marissa is just naturally that, just like, yeah. So that's that kind of person in real life too. And so like she just settled right into Yuna so well.
Oh yeah, and that was probably one of the most recent fanboy experiences I had like on the air. Was I'd had Marissa on the show multiple times, and then Kuma Bear came out, and I fell in love with it. She came back on the show, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Yuna! Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because it's a series I fell in love with. That is a future cosplay of mine. We were thinking of doing it for Anime Boston in May, but wearing a reversible bear outfit in May in Boston is going to be too damn hot for me.
Yeah, that sounds. Whew, yeah. But her jammies look so comfortable, though.
Oh,
I want
do.
one of those. I want one of those bear onesies.
And it's funny because it's like, okay, well, I was going to do Yuna, a crossplay, and I was like, that's going to be too warm. So I picked out two other cosplays to do that are both cross-playing female characters.
Nice. So. I want to crossplay Travis Touchdown. I've always wanted to. And yes, Kitty does say hi. Hi, Daddy.
And in typical, there she is. Hi. And in typical Kitty fashion, love me, look at my butt.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, let me display my butt for you. No, I love the idea of crossplay though. I've always wanted to crossplay No More Heroes, Travis Touchdown, because I cosplayed Bad Girl from it, and now I want to do like a girl version of Travis Touchdown or a guy version. I mean, I'm totally fine with that. I wish I would have done that when my hair was shorter, but it is what it is.
And another big franchise that you were a part of, and I know that I haven't seen it, but the show gets a ton of love, is Dr. Stone.
Yeah. Minami. She's lovingly drawn, is she not?
Mm-hmm.
Lovingly animated. There's something about characters that are lovingly animated in me, if you know what I mean.
I have to look up this character. Okay, I see what you mean now. Goodness.
About to say all of Dr. Stone for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have not seen Dr. Stone, so this is a new character to me. It's like I saw that you were in Dr. Stone. It's like I haven't watched it yet, but what is this character? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's the most buxom of the whole show, I think, as far as because that's the way they introduce her is she's the main villain's side piece, and she's in their literal love nest, they're in a nest, and she's just I love his muscles. And then like later on, she like it turns out she's a reporter, and she like uses her knowledge as a reporter to actually like tell them who to like unfreeze, because like she can tell them like who they were before they were frozen, so they're not unfreezing the wrong people.
And Timothy says, I love Dr. Stone. Excellent anime.
But I agree with you. Once you get in the swing of it, though, it's really freaking good. Speaking of anime, oh my gosh, I have convinced my Discord server to watch Paranoia Agent with me, and I'm so excited. We watched it on our Discord server on Sunday nights, and I'm just like, love this. Give me all of Paranoia Agent, because it just gives me an excuse to watch Paranoia Agent again.
I gotta love when you can revisit those shows.
Oh God, it's the one that I've revisited the most. I love that and Paprika. And I don't know, I haven't seen Paranoia Agent, like rewatched it in a long time, and so I'm really excited to go back. Speaking of cosplays, that's another one that I would love to do, is Lil Slugger. From Paranoia Agent. Thank you, Mario. I would, because I skate. And so I would love to like have like golden rollerblades or whatever. Although they probably wouldn't let me skate around the convention, I would still, like to cosplay him at some point.
Now, going to conventions and stuff, have you had a lot of experience as a guest at conventions?
Not a lot, but I'm looking to get more. I've been, like reaching out to cons and stuff like that. And of course, if you're watching, if you ever want to meet me, you can always invite me to a con near you. And because they do listen, they really do listen. But no, I haven't had just a ton of experience, but I have had some, and the experience that I've had has been overwhelmingly positive. I love the opportunity to meet fans, and my webcam is focusing funky. No, I love the opportunity to get to meet fans. They are so sweet and so genuine, and the fact that I get to like actually talk to people in person is just like, oh my gosh, like it just steals my heart. Like I come home with like, how they talk about like your cup, as in like you can't pour from an empty cup type thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like people consider conventions work, which they kind of are, because they have you do panels and stuff like that. As far as I'm concerned, meeting fans and interacting with people and like just getting to like finally meet these people that you've talked to online and stuff, and like getting to like know a little bit more about them and everything, like that fills my cup more than anything else. It's just so I love it. After a day at a convention, like whenever I'm a guest, I'm like barely tired. I am so charged. I am just like, next day, let's do this. Like I'm so jazzed, because like that stuff sort of stuff just energizes me and like fills me with joy.
Now, have you been able to intertwine your radio and teaching with the anime? Do people from the school that you teach at, do they know that you also voice act? Have any of them become fans of your career?
Yes, although I will tell you, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because the first day of any college class is syllabus day. I sit there and I read the syllabus to them, and it's always the same. I know you can read, it's just CYA. And so, but the second day, I have them do kind of a get to know you type thing. And where was I going with this? Because I read the comment. Have you reached a point yet? You've done so many parts that when if someone does a cosplay of one, no, because if someone cosplays one of my characters at a convention, there's no way I wouldn't recognize that, because that would just be like, oh my God, it would fill my heart with love. I would love that so much. That would just, oh my God, make my heart burst. And yes, Lil Slugger was effing creepy, which I love him so much. Anyway, going back to what we were talking about though, is the second day is I have my students write down like their dream job, and then I'll just like talk back and forth with my students for a little while, and I'm like, all right, so now that we have all put our dream jobs on a sheet of paper, and I know you've written it down what you want to do, now we're going to read these aloud and guess who they belong to. Sorry, my cat was rubbing on my face.
A cat dander gets everywhere.
Oh my gosh, it's just her fur. It's tickling me because it's sticking my makeup. And so anyway, yeah, so that's whenever I'm like, and I'm going to put mine in there too, just to mess things around. And some of my students come in class already knowing, others don't know. And when they find out, it's always really funny to see their faces. They're like, what have you been in? And I'm like, Dragon Ball. And they're like, what? And that's whenever, I don't know, see, like doing that reveal for them is always very fun.
That is pretty cool. Are there emoticons in chat? I don't even know that. I don't do too much with the chat, but I guess there are some emoticons in the chat room.
Hold on.
I'm not quite sure that's the thumbs up you were looking for, but
I can't see anything except for a little square.
But it's that's funny. But it's got it, like you said, it sounds like it's a very rewarding thing when people recognize you or like get really genuinely excited to be like, whoa, you were in this show. Because I know you said before, God, yeah. For you, it's like this is just a job. You don't really know what kind of effect a role you do has on people.
Rephrase that, because it's not just a job for me by any means.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, no, there's no way I
didn't mean it like that.
Yeah. Right. No, I know. I just wanted to specify that. Yeah, no, it is. It will never be and has never been just a job for me by any means. But no. You were talking about what was it? People cosplaying my characters and stuff. And knowing and getting to reach people and stuff, like, as I always say, the fact that I have one fan is like already mind blowing to me, because I grew up little kid. I was weird. I was like not the cool kid. I was the least cool kid in class. I was quiet. I never talked. I never did anything. I was shy. If I could like turn to like that eggshell white and just blend into the wall, my life would be happier. And then I turned into this, and I don't know how that happened, but like, so growing up like that and growing up like the weird kid that just never wanted to be acknowledged at all, having people coming up and being like, oh my gosh, I loved your performance in this, and I'm like, me? But no, me? And so like people positively reacting to any of my work is just like, it will never lose a charm for me. It's something that's just so beautiful, and I will never take it for granted.
Watching that thing.
What was that, Darren?
Sorry, that whole explanation made me think of two characters from two different series, with the whole shy, quiet, just wanting to blend in kind of thing. From this season, Comey from Comey Can't Communicate. Basically a girl that does not know how to talk to people like at all. Like her very first interaction with the main character in the series is literally through writing on the chalkboard on the wall, because she literally can't speak to them because she's overly anxious.
Can relate.
And then the other one is the main character from Watsumoto.
And I know the awkwardness of that character.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that character. I'm sorry. I'm like, I think I surprise people because I'm not plugged into the anime world like at all. Like, I don't get a chance to watch much anime, which makes me feel like a bad anime person. I don't know. I'm like, but what is sleep? I don't even have time to do that. So I don't have time to like sit and watch anime. And I always feel really bad because like, that's why I always go back to my old favorites, is because I'm just like, hey, I know Paranoia Agent's 12 episodes long, and I can knock it out in a couple of weeks. Like,
and you already know what's going on, so if you're busy doing something else and that's background, you can still keep up with what's going on.
Yeah, because I've seen it. Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to trying something new where you want to pay attention to it, whether you're watching it in English or Japanese.
Or I get really, really invested in it, and like, yeah, I find out that it doesn't have another season or it has a bad closure or something like that. I'm like, what if my time is valuable. I need to invest it wisely, but then I just don't choose anything because I give myself anxiety over it. And so that's why I always just go back to my old favorites, just because I have like choice paralysis or something.
Definitely give Konosuba a shot, because there are a lot of similarities between that and Combatants Will Be Dispatched.
I will, for sure.
You will binge it, I promise.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm about to have a lot of time off because of Christmas and New Year's, so I'll probably end up doing it then. But I hate to do this to you guys. I know this is your last show, but I've got to go, and I'm so sorry. I know that you had me on as your guest, and I apologize that I wasn't able to stay longer. If it was Sunday, I would have stayed the whole time and then some, but I just can't.
That's perfectly fine. We know you have family stuff going on as well, and we thank you so much for taking the time to still come on and hang out with us tonight.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me on again, and I really appreciated just getting to chat with you a little bit. And no, if there's ever a time that you want me back, I'll be happy to come back. I love talking with you guys.
Reach out whenever you want to come back, whether it's as a guest co-host. If you want to come on and surprise a different guest or something like that, whether it's another cosplayer, an artist, even other voice actors, feel free to reach out. Be like, hey, I think you should get so-and-so on. I'll come on, but don't tell them I'm coming on.
I mean, as long as you're fine with that, because I don't want to be like all up in your business, just like, hey, what are you doing over there? And so like, as long as you don't mind, I might reach out to you if it. No, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, like, we're friends, man. We can so I'm very, very glad that you would have me on again. And I know I've been kind of like off topic and rambly at some points this evening, so I appreciate you dealing with me. Awesome.
That's what AZR is.
That's what we do here.
Well, hey, that's why I enjoy doing it with the show, because it's just like, I don't know, it feels like a conversation and we're having a good time rather than like being grilled. Not that questions are bad. I mean, obviously questions being asked are really fun to answer, especially really unique ones like you guys ask. But I also just like enjoying chill time and it not being weird,
And that's what we shoot for. There, like we had said many times before, when we do the show, we want to keep it as a relaxed conversation, not so much of, I've got a list of 15 questions that you have to answer in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you get drilled, boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. It's like, let's just have a conversation. It's just friends chatting that people can tune in on.
Right. No, and I like that a lot. And I think that honestly adds more honesty to whatever you're doing than, like you said, reading off of a list of questions. But anyway, I've got to go. Thank you so much, you guys, for having me on again. And I hope to talk to you again soon. Email me anytime you want, and Definitely. I'll let you know my schedules. And if I'm ever up in a convention and very, very far north, I'll let you know.
Oh, definitely. And I will continue to put your name out to the convention people that we know. And hopefully we can get something worked out to where you can come up.
I would love that. Yeah, absolutely. And if you let me know which conventions you have asked, I can also reach out to them and be like, hey, I would like to be a guest at your convention. And so, yeah, we can like double team it.
So I will have to, I'm racking my brain right now, and there's 2 of them that are more comic cons than anime cons.
Right. Those are a little different.
But I know Sam Chase, who does Saratoga Comic-Con and Plattsburgh Comic-Con, just had Erica Schroeder as a guest at his most recent con, who does voices in Pokemon, including Eevee.
Oh, cool.
So, and I know that Gary Summers with Northeast Comic-Con has had some anime guests on in the past. In fact, I met Christopher Bevins and Rachel Robinson at one of his early cons.
Sweet.
So I know they're not opposed to the idea, so I'll throw your name out there.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, just let me know. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for having me on. I do have to go, and thank you for everyone, in the chat that was asking questions and stuff like that. And thank you for understanding that I have to go. I've loved being on though, so thank you guys. And until we talk again, I will talk to you guys later.
And we will shoot for sometime early 2022 to have her back for the full 2-hour show, where you can come up with more questions of all sorts of randomness to stump. Maybe we'll bring her back for one of our specials. Maybe if we do another Smash or Trash, we can bring her back for something like that.
Oh gosh. As long as it's not like characters I voice or like, is it Smash or Trash or Skip? Can I skip?
Well, you can cuddle.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Ilulu, you could cuddle. Because she's adorable.
Yeah, and also I feel like wrong saying Smash or Trash because she's very pure, but also she's very childlike, and that's a whole territory that I'm not into on the anime thing. There is like, I'm not really into the lolies over here, so
the must protect.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Smash, Trash, must protect. Those are those are the terms that I will come in on.
Rose,
Smash,
must
pass,
protect.
or must protect. Yes.
And I will say that we did say Smash for Kobayashi. All of us that were on that show said Smash for Miss Kobayashi.
That's interesting. I totally would agree. Anyway, I will talk to you fellas later. Thank you so much. Have a great evening and a Merry Christmas if I don't speak to you before then.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you and the family.
Same to you guys. Bye.
Bye. And that was Kristi Rothrock. We are so happy she was able to come on, hang out with us for about an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you to everybody out there who was asking questions. I love seeing the interaction in the chat room. And for those of you who missed it, on Thursday, we started to do a year in review, a look back of 2021, all of the animes, the past AZRs that we have done. And I know, Darren, that you kind of fell off towards the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that you got into the fall 2021.
I did not, because I think I was commenting on summer anime, and then I was actually laying in bed, and I had because I finally was able to move my bigger TV, because I ended up getting a different one for my living room and ended up putting my other TV in my room, and I ended up getting my laptop set up so I can actually watch stuff in bed now. Because I will admit, this time of year, it is hard to watch stuff on the couch because it's harder to get a blanket on, and I don't want to run my electricity bill up terribly high. It's just easier to throw on the covers.
Oh yeah, and we were talking about the summer 2021 shows. I believe that you had gotten that far. Which included shows like Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Season 2, Slime Season 2, Part 2, Girlfriend, and one show that I have gone on the record of saying that this might be my favorite show of the year, even though it's not getting the love I feel it deserves, and that is How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Yes, it's an isekai, but it's not your typical show of overpowered main character goes to another world and dominates by kicking everybody's ass. No, he uses common sense. He uses knowledge from, his old life to rebuild an economy, to outsmart other nations. And just the world building and the storyline of it is phenomenal.
By the way, you know that those were summer animes, right?
Yes.
That you're okay.
Yep.
I heard fall.
I said starting up, just catching back up on the summer animes. The fall anime season kind of died out, in my opinion. Like there was not a lot of shows that stuck out to me for fall.
I would have to disagree. There were several that stuck out.
Because I think I think, like I said on Thursday night, I think the only shows that I'm watching from fall were Fruit of Evolution, Restaurant to Another World Season 2, and I'm trying to remember what the other one was. Which, surprisingly, I know Yashahime Season 2 is out, but I never finished Season 1 because of getting busy on other things.
You said Restaurant to Another World 2 already, right?
Yep. And I think the other one, and it was one that I had started, but didn't get very far into, and that was World's Finest Assassin.
Yes. That one is potentially anime of the season. It's got some really good competition. Not the highest rate on my anime list, but there's a lot of solid 8 shows and up this season. You got Jobless Reincarnation Second Core, which has been amazing. The last episode hit everybody in the feels, especially if you haven't read the light novel or the manga. Then you had Komi-san, Can't Communicate. That has been a very good one as well. Mirako-chan is something that you need to get on. Me and Leanne have been pestering you about that for a minute now.
Yeah.
It's right up your paranormal alley. World's Finest Assassin gets reincarnated as an aristocrat. That's a yes.
Of course, everybody loves the fact Demon Slayer is back with another season, which I couldn't get through the first season.
And then we have Banished from the Heroes Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. That one's been kind of laid back and relaxed. It's kind of turned into a love story more than anything, which I like. One anime that's getting a lot of hype and is actually the highest rated this season, and it's actually climbing the ranks in my anime list as a whole. And that's a Ranking of Kings. I've heard a lot about that one, and I just haven't started it yet.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about that show. But apparently people like it.
Well, it's not so much that they like it; it's just really good in what it does. The people of the kingdom look down on this young prince who can neither hear nor speak. So, a Helen Keller of the anime world, per se. They call him the useless prince while jeering at his supposed foolishness. However, while Boji may not be physically strong, he is certainly not weak of heart. When a chance encounter with a shadow creature should have left him traumatized, it instead makes him believe he has found a friend amidst those who only choose to notice his shortcomings. He starts meeting people with Kage the Shadow regularly to the point where even the otherwise abrasive creatures begin to warm up to him. Kage and Boji's unlikely friendship lays the budding foundations of the prince's journey, one where he intends to conquer his fears and insecurities. Despite the constant ridicule he faces, Boji resolves to fulfill his desire of becoming the best king he can.
Interesting.
Basically, it's mostly about a kid that has a lot of adversity and overcoming that adversity, and it's been acclaimed by several as one of the most well-written shows of the season, if not of the year.
And another show that kind of had piqued my interest, but I haven't really delved into it yet, is Selection Project. I see that's got a 7.2 rating on my anime list. And to me, it looks like it's another idol. It's another idol anime. And it's like, I've watched a lot of music, a lot of idol animes, and it's like, I don't know if I can really invest my time in another one.
I've been talked OP Destiny has been on my radar, and the fact it's a Madhouse title is another reason it's on my radar. Platinum End is basically another Mirai Nikki.
Let's see. Then you got My Senpai is Annoying, so the exact opposite of Uzaki-chan.
Yeah. And then you had one that seemed like this was one that kind of piqued my interest, but again, I haven't gone and actually watched this show. It's only got a 6.1 rating on my enemy list, but it's Pride of Orange, the girls' ice hockey anime, and the reason that kind of stuck out in my mind is we were talking about Giguk and Anime Man and Sea Dog doing another anime figure special for their Trash Taste podcast, where they all went out and spent a collective $10,000 on anime figures through 4 stores in Japan's Akihabara district. And one of the stores had a big banner hanging for the Pride of Orange. And so I saw that, and it just stuck in my head again of going, maybe I should check that out, because that's the kind of animes that I tend to get drawn to. You know, like a Keijo, Harukana Receive, the volleyball anime, and some of those oddball ones. I think that one is a Funimation title, too. Yeah, it's licensed by Funimation, produced by Cyber Agent.
And I'll say this, another one that's been getting a lot of attention this season is the one about the vampire cosmonaut. I've seen a lot of Funimation posts about that one.
So it's not that there's like not a ton of good anime out this season. It's just I'm not a fan of Demon Slayer, so I'm not falling back. So I can't be on the Demon Slayer hype. 86 I never got into, even though I know part 2 is out now, and that has a high rating as well. It's got a big fandom. Like you said, My Senpai is Annoying. It's the reverse Uzaki. It's like, do I really want to go down that rabbit hole again? Then again, and even some of the isekais I've started to like fall away from.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll admit there really wasn't a great selection of isekai this season. Granted, there are 2 exceptions to that, and that is World's Finest Assassin and Jobless Reincarnation. But Jobless Reincarnation is the sequel.
And the Fruit of Evolution is an interesting isekai, and I probably won't go back and rewatch this again, in all honesty.
It's mindless entertainment.
The concept of the fact that the main character is a fat, ugly, stinky guy in high school that everybody makes fun of. His entire school gets summoned to another world, and he's left by himself. And then the god that summoned everybody else is like, oh, you're still here? Well, here, let me bestow a gift upon you and transport you to another area. While the whole rest of the school goes to one kingdom to where they believe they're being trained to be heroes, this guy gets stuck in the jungle to survive on his own, discovers this thing called the Fruit of Evolution. Every time he eats one and defeats a high-level opponent, his physical form, strength, body, everything levels up. So he goes from the short, fat, stinky guy to, husbando material by the time he eats 10 of these things. He kisses a gorilla who turns into a hot chick. There is a donkey that turns into a good-looking chick. There's a young cat girl, which, thank God for this one, they made it Oni-chan instead of a love interest. It was, oh, you're my little sister. She's an assassin sent to try to kill the king of the nation that he's in, and he ends up catching her because he does have some OP abilities from the Fruit of Evolution and the skills that he develops and stuff.
Heck, he summoned Abraham Lincoln.
He did. He summoned Abraham Lincoln.
All to break curses. All to set people free from curses.
So it's like mindlessly, stupidly ridiculous, but I can't wait for the next episode. And We lost Darren here for a minute. Hopefully Darren will be back. I'm not sure what happened. There he is. I think he hit a wrong button.
Yeah, I went to hit the chat and it accidentally hit leave somehow.
Darren's like, no. But it's just so stupidly entertaining. I'm not going to put it on the same stupidity level as Chiho School Road, but like it's entertaining. I'll finish the series, especially as far in as we are. But I don't know if it's one that would be like, oh, I need to go back and rewatch this one. We might make a lot of Saria jokes of where he kisses. Saria is the gorilla that turns into a naked chick. But that's probably about it for me for that one. And like
now, who is best girl in that series? That's the real question.
I almost want to say, like, in my honest opinion, the best girl is the white-haired girl who always had the trouble that followed her.
Artoria?
Yeah, I in my opinion, I think she was best girl because of how much self-doubt and worry she had, but she is such a caring, compassionate person hidden by a tough exterior because of her past and the trouble that she had. Makes her absolutely adorable.
I can agree to that, but personally, I'm gonna have to go with the Valkyries.
I knew you were gonna go that route. Are you surprised I didn't say the cute little cat girl?
No,
because that's a must protect character. That's not, adorable waifu material. No, that's a must protect, like little sister character.
Agreed.
And as we mentioned with Kristi talking about Restaurant to Another World Season 2, I really need to go back and watch Season 1 to see the start of how everything transpired, because some of the characters in this are adorable. Like, I don't remember how, the two waitresses came to be because of watching so many other shows. And for some reason, I find the blonde-haired waitress just absolutely adorable. Like, I would put, talking about smash or trash, I would put her on a smash list.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she's a devil, even though she's a demon, I would put her on the smash list. And the storyline in it, what felt like a lot of odd encounters, like I would almost compare this to an old anime called Golden Boy, where Golden Boy only had 6 episodes, if I remember correctly, and the first 5 episodes were just utter, complete nonsense and had nothing to do with anything until episode 6, when everything got tied together. It seemed like 2 seasons worth of shows of these random characters that happen to find this restaurant, and they all end up developing nicknames on what dish they order every time they're there. All of a sudden, you have a major event that happens in the restaurant that in season 2 you can kind of slowly see it build up to that, but you never but like I didn't expect this to happen when it happened.
I gotta admit, I love those shows where they'll start out like toward the end of the series or they'll lay out events and then tie it all together with like a finale episode. Because at least then it gives some suspense to the show itself.
And like it was like 4 or 5, like the last 4 or 5 episodes where you started to see some things that were transpiring, and you don't think about it because it's like, oh, well, this episode was cut into 2 pieces, and here you see this character gets introduced, and a character who's been going to this restaurant for a long period of time suddenly gets an underling who they bring with them to the restaurant for the first time. Or you have the vampires who come in, or you have the warriors who come in, or things of that nature. And then this most recent episode happened, and like the character, the main character that was involved in this event is in there, and he's twitching and he's nervous. and like everybody can tell something is wrong. He is very uneasy, to the point that like the waitress staff is worried about him. The blonde girl is worried about him, thinking something is majorly wrong. Once said event transpires, the owner of Nicoya is like, you know what? It looks like looks like this dessert's on the house tonight. And it's like, wait, what just happened? I didn't expect that the prince of one land is going to do such a thing to the princess of another. But it definitely, like, the whole season leading up to that point, I'm like, okay, this just made me fall in love with the series even more. And it's one of those series that is overlooked. So, what other shows have you been having your eye on, Darren?
That for this particular season, that's really about it. I've heard a lot about 86. And then one I've somewhat heard about, but not really, was the one about Paladin of the End, or Ultimate Paladin, the Faraway Paladin, the kid that's raised by a skeleton, a ghost, and a mummy.
Interesting.
The skeleton teaches him to fight, the ghost teaches him magic, and the mummy teaches him religion and responsibility.
That's different.
And they all teach him love. And then eventually he sets out on a journey. And something about an oath that must be fulfilled.
Now let's take a quick look ahead at what's getting ready to come out. Winter 2021 schedule.
Winter 2022, you mean?
Yeah, winter 2022. Good God, you can tell I'm getting tired.
I have to say, you want to go back in time?
Maybe. Winter 2021, we were watching like 10, 15 animes a piece. So I would gladly go back to be like, man, what a spitfire of shows coming out, and stuff that's already been announced coming out of winter 2022. You get more Demon Slayer coming out, which I know a lot of Demon Slayer fans are excited about that.
You get the final season of Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
there's a lot of sequels this season. I'm gonna be hyped for Ari Fuerza.
I am hyped for How a Realist Hero with season 2 coming out. Also, I'm excited about Princess Connect Redive season 2 coming out, because I actually enjoyed season 1 of that.
That was cute, and I'm looking at that one as well. And then of course Takagi season 3.
And what is this one? This one is this looks like a spin-off or a carbon copy of the one that I was just talking about, the How Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. You've got The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. Why does this look like it's just a stamp of the other one?
No idea. Oh, so this next season is also going to be the season where that cosplay anime I was telling y'all about happens. My Dress Up Darling. So you get a show all about cosplay.
Interesting. Then they have an anime coming out called She Professed Herself Pupil of the Wise Man, Kendashi. And this looks like it's let's see. They plays a VR MMORPG called Arch Earth Online. He is a veteran player with a name and appearance similar to an elderly bearded wizard from a certain book about a ring. One day, he purchases an appearance change item as a last resort to spend expiring currency, and gets the idea of choosing what he would want to look like if his character was ever a girl. Falling asleep should have suspended the game, but Kagami wakes up still online and feels the game has gotten a bit more realistic.
Yay, more isekai / transported to the MMO world. So basically a Demon Lord retry kind of vibe to it.
Like some of the artwork of this actually kind of gives it a Bofuri type feel. I'm wondering if it's more of a Bofuri type thing or Kuma Bear. I don't know if she's going to get sucked or if he's going to get sucked into the game or exactly what. But we shall see. That might be a potential because some of the characters look cute.
Next, we have the strongest sage with the weakest crest. So more fantasy.
And this show looks kind of interesting. I'm not sure what to make of this.
Which one?
Kaijin Kaihatsu Buno Kuroitsu-san.
Hold on, let me scroll down. Oh.
It says Toka Hirozu is a research assistant who belongs to the monster development department of the Eagle organization Agastya. However, the enemy she has to fight right now isn't the heroes of justice, but her boss. So long justice exists, evil too will exist. This is a story of those who fight secretly in the shadows of justice and evil's confrontation.
Okay.
So not isekai, but some of the characters look intriguing. So I'm not sure what to make of this one. If anybody out in the chat knows anything more about that. And Tim, I know I'm a little behind on the chat because of looking, but Tim was talking about the cosplayers, acting out. So that would be interesting. Cosplayers acting out full episodes of anime.
Ooh, Astroloft in space. Good taste.
Just saw Bofuri. What a wild anime. That anime was great.
It was funny, really. He mentions Astroloft in space, mentioning that every single episode was a cliffhanger. I was hearing some radio show talk about the Netflix series Lost in Space and saying every episode was a cliffhanger. I'm wondering if they drew inspiration from each other on that one.
I don't know. And there's an anime out, and we're going off of myanimelist.net, searching the seasons, the winter 2020 season. There's an anime called Q, which says anime based on Liber Entertainment's mobile game of the same name, in which players train up-and-coming voice actors.
Okay. And you said 2020, not 2022.
I am all over the board tonight, folks.
I'd say I'll take Isekai for 1,000, Doug.
That could be an intro. Don't give me more ideas for future games.
If you want to play Anime Jeopardy, I'm totally down.
Don't make me reach out to Devira for that, because I think he's done something along those lines in the past, and I could see him actually organizing something like that to do an Anime Jeopardy.
The only problem with Anime Jeopardy is it would have to be something from from shows we all are familiar with, or it would have to be something we either seen or is just common knowledge.
in order for it to be, well, it could be entertaining to have stuff we don't know, but still.
What would be a good question for Isekai for 1,000?
Name the real reason Kazuma died.
Embarrassment. Because if I remember correctly, and there's been so many random deaths in Isekai, didn't Kazuma, didn't he die thinking he was saving a girl from an oncoming truck, and it turned out to be an old farmer on a tractor, and he just kind of died of embarrassment when he realized what happened?
I don't think he ever realized what happened. I think he died from the shock of thinking he got hit by the vehicle.
No. But he still had the ultimate revenge on the goddess who made fun of him. Bitch, you're coming with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we learned just how useless Aqua really is. Which is sad because Aqua is a cute character. Until you find out her personality and the type of person she is. If she just didn't like do anything, she would be adorable. And I'm sure a lot of people would have her on their waifu lists and stuff. But because she is so stupid and useless outside of party tricks and resurrection, because Lord knows that poor Kazuma dies a ton because she's so stupid.
Oh, Lord. We have another My Life as a Villainess anime airing next season.
Do we?
Yeah, it's called Game World Reincarnation, Sex on the First Night.
What?
Yep. It says, "You're my fiance, so it's only natural that we do this tonight. He kisses me deeply and devours my whole body. My first sweet kiss on my first night of reincarnation. Office worker dies from overworking and gets reincarnated as the villain in her favorite Otome game. Will she be able to keep her fiance or will she lose him to the protagonist?"
Good God. There is a Fruits Basket movie that's going to be coming out next season. Bang Dream movie coming out as well. And in special, there is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S Japanese Hospitality Attendance as a Dragon special is coming out.
Yay. I really wish that they would put a lot of these OVAs or OAVs with these Blu-ray editions more often, because it's like you can watch the show and get the gist of it, but if you want all of it, then you have to watch the OVAs that are included, especially when you have shows that have so many of them.
Like To Love Ru, Kiss Exes, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but Mario said we're not allowed to talk about Kiss Exes.
I like Kiss Exes, so I will talk about it. Sorry, Mario. I enjoyed that anime, even though it's a taboo show.
It's not even really taboo because they weren't really related.
Exactly. And it really would have helped out I think if they had figures for Kiss Exes, that really would have helped the anime man out in one of his quests that he had to do. Which, if anybody has seen the Trash Taste podcast, when they did their first special of taking each of them, Gigig, Joey, and Connor all had $500 in the first special to spend at 4 anime stores and had to come up with figures and play different, have different challenges at each store. They did it again and just released it earlier this week, where they each had $3,333 technically to spend, rounding up to $10,000 collectively. One of the challenges that Joey got was he had to find a figure from an incest anime and scream, "I love incest." That was a challenge he got. And he had to scream it in the store.
In Japanese or in English?
It didn't specify. And I remember that at one point he had to go up to Gigic to get suggestions of incest anime because he typically doesn't watch those. And in my head, I'm like, well, you have Kiss X Sis, you have Oni AI, you have A Sister's All You Need. I'm like, God, I'm a degenerate.
You have Suga no Sora, Aki Sora. Let's see. What else can I think of? Oh, yeah. Aki Sora, I wish they'd have done a full 12 episodes on. I'm sorry. I'm a degenerate, but the manga was a wild ride.
And HH says, I heard that Konosuba was meant to be a middle finger towards isekai tropes by using every cliche in a single series. Because hell, I don't mind. That's just what I heard. It's like Konosuba turned out to be a fantastic anime, and I have 3 Megaman figures because we all know Megaman is best girl in that series.
Well, it's kind of hard for Konosuba to go after every single cliche because they keep coming out with more cliches as the isekai genre continues onward.
And I know we've done a show on this in the past about, what could the next isekai quartet be? What 4 isekais could they throw together to make the next goofy isekai quartet? And, we have thrown many random stuff out there. Everything from including In Another World with My Smartphone to even now you could put, Jobless Reincarnation or World's Greatest Assassin. Could you imagine those characters all intermingling?
I could with those particular shows simply for the fact that they have similar. I don't know.
Throw How Not to Summon a Demon Lord in there. And you have a really crazy show. But we are almost out of time. Once again, we want to thank Kristi Rothrock for joining us tonight. It was great to catch up with her. I know that she had to leave early because of family holiday stuff going on this weekend. We are taking the next 2 weeks off. We're not going to be doing any live programming. We may do some pre-recording and posting stuff up here and there on the channel still, but this is our last official live show of 2021. And we really thank everybody who has helped us on this journey. It's been an absolutely amazing and crazy 7.5, almost 8 years of doing the show. We're looking ahead to 2022. Our first guest when we come back on January 9th is going to be Laini Maloney. She's a very talented cosplayer who we met at Saratoga Comic-Con. We have reached out to a few people waiting to continue to do more booking for January. If you have ideas of guests you'd like to see us get on the show, reach out to us through our Facebook page at facebook.com/Anime-Zing Radio. Shoot us a comment down in the comment section. Make sure you like the video, share the channel. We want to try to hit 200 subscribers by the end of the year. I know it's a tall order, but once we do hit that 200 subscriber mark, we are going to be doing a giveaway where one lucky subscriber will get to sit in the guest co-host seat for an upcoming voice actor interview. And anybody who's seen the show knows it could be anybody from up-and-comers like Emmy Lowe, Kristi Rothrock, to name some of the biggest names, including Monica Rial we've had on the show, J. Michael Tatum. You just never know who we're going to have next. So definitely, if you want a chance to be able to be a part of that, hit that subscribe button, share our show, share our channel with everybody, all of your anime friends. Have them hit the subscribe button as well so we can get one of you lucky fans sitting right beside Darren in the co-host seat. Until we come back, in January, on January 9th. Once again, on behalf of our sponsors, everybody here associated with Anime-Zing Radio, I genuinely wish everybody a wonderful holiday season. Stay safe, be happy, spend time with friends and loved ones as much as you can during the season. And Happy New Year to everybody. We will be back, like I said, January 9th, starting again at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back to our normal Sunday time slot. So until then, once again, happy holidays. Darren, you have any final words?
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, people. See you next year.
Definitely. Have a great night, everybody. And until we come back, keep watching anime. Happy holidays, and we'll see you in January.